Okay. I'm not recording the call.
We're out here, man.
We out here. 3, 2, 1. It's the Soul Engineer back again with another video. It's of a different type, as I mentioned. So today I have with me, introduce yourself. You
What
only
it
have
do,
one
what
shot at
it do,
this.
guys.
So whatever name you pick, that's what the internet is going to stick with.
Bro, they can even come up with a name themselves, man. I don't mind,
Okay.
I'll just go along with the gimmick. Okay, guys, what's up? My name is Tinotenda Masimba Togara. Some people know me as Masimba, some people know me as Tinotenda. You choose what you want to call me. But
Yeah.
this is me. I'm really excited. This is going to be, something that I feel is going to be revolutionary because it's the first of its kind
Something
out
new.
here, man. It's something
Exactly.
new. It's something that, we've been thinking about for a while,
Yeah.
I guess. In our own heads, probably it's something that we haven't discussed until recently. But then we just decided, why not? What's actually stopping us? So yeah, I'm excited. This is
And I
going to
think
be great.
now that you mention in the context of ideas, a lot of us have a lot of collaboration ideas, a lot of plans we want to do. We think about them, but we're like, nah, I'm probably just hallucinating or something.
Yeah.
And that's the case with most of us. We often think that because what I think is not right, or I'm probably out of my mind, I'm not going to do it. And to take this idea, for example, how long did you have it in your mind?
I think actually the first time I thought of it was maybe 3 or 4 months ago when like this whole quarantine thing started.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wouldn't it be cool if, I started a podcast, just hanging out with my friends, talking, and then posting it on YouTube? Like, wouldn't that be something dope? But then I was like, nah, it's just a passing thought. And then I dismissed it for a while. Then actually when it clicked, I think is when we had that Zoom call with those other guys, Watchai and the rest.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then I was like, with the way this is all so funny, this is fun, I feel like this is something I would enjoy watching from someone else. And then I was like, why are we not doing this? I'm going into a semester break, and why not? I have all the time in the world. This would be an opportunity, to be productive somehow, and not just to sit around and watch series
and do nothing.
Something that and do nothing. It'll be something that actually is going to develop us and hopefully the people who are watching / listening to us.
Very true. And I think that's the case. Shout out to the Bermuda Triangle for inspiring this idea.
Yeah. Gang, the day ones.
Yeah. But I also thought about it maybe prior to lockdown.
I mean,
long before.
Yeah.
When when life was still,
stable.
Yeah. Then I was like, no, I think we're too busy with our lives, and I think I brushed it off on the account of busyness. And I also felt like I wasn't ready. I felt like I didn't have lots of equipment, because you'd be intimidated by these big YouTubers out there with lots and lots of equipment, like good microphones.
Equipment, you see a studio.
Dude, some of them
high quality cameras.
Some of them can even afford to fly in guests to the location and all of that.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't live up to that quality. Eh? It's hard.
But that actually, applies to so many different ideas that come up. Like for example, let's say you'd be like, okay, I want to start a YouTube video, let's say, for example. And then you look at all these, guys with millions and millions of subscribers who get regular millions of views monthly. your David Dobrik's,
Yeah.
these type of people, and
Yeah.
this is long, man. These people put so much time and effort into it, and then you just dismiss it because in your mind, you want to be in that comfort zone, in that place
That's very true.
where you don't have any sort of new challenges, or something that might make you sweat a bit. So it's normal. I wouldn't blame you. But
It's
then,
life, man.
then actually, I couldn't sleep this other day. When was it? Was last week? Was it on a Thursday? Because we were just like wrapping up our course, and I couldn't sleep because I was just thinking about it. This is after I came from listening to one of Joe Rogan's podcasts.
The Joe Rogan Show.
Yeah, the Joe Rogan
Best
Show. The true OGs of podcast, man. Those guys.
Yeah, that guy sort of like cemented a good foundation into podcasting. I can't even describe what he's done for like the world of podcasting. He's revolutionized it.
Like in more ways than we can imagine.
Exactly.
But then I was just listening. I think he was having a podcast with Kevin Hart. And man, I was so inspired. Like the way they were speaking, the way they were talking about, pursuing things and not just brushing aside ideas. And then I was thinking, like, I've been having this idea of a podcast because you see, all these things are accumulating after the Zoom call we had, and also months prior to that. All these things were accumulating to that point where I couldn't sleep, and I was just thinking, man, we should start a podcast.
Yeah.
You see, and then the very next day, I called you. I remember I called you the very next day. I was like, you know what? I think we should start a podcast.
Yeah, right. Let me do this. Let me pause the show right here. So it's saying we're running out of time, right? I do know that if it's 2 people, it's unlimited. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit the podcast. I mean, no, I'm gonna leave Zoom here on the computer, and then we continue here.
Yeah.
Are you recording, dog?
Yeah, it's recording.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's recording. It's literally saying recording at the top thingy. Top left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, recording. Okay. I just saw the TV show. Hi, it's a Zoom dog. Anyways, where were we? Dog. Zoom is too okay. I believe Zoom is like, this is where boomers shine. It's boomer technology. Instagram Live,
Gram, TikTokers.
Hey, dog, TikTok is
Snapchatters. Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, I can't. I still can't see myself there ever.
Dog.
Never.
I'm afraid of TikTok.
Right, it's just I don't know, man. But then there's some people who make some funny stuff there. But of course, I never actually go on TikTok to find funny stuff from TikTok.
What?
I'm saying there are some people who make funny vids because it has that Vine type of vibe you get. But then I never actually go to TikTok to look for them.
Yeah.
I always find them somewhere else.
Exactly. You see, TikTok, I do believe TikTok has replaced Vine because it's basically the same content. 6 minutes, or okay, I mean not 60 minutes, 6 seconds of intriguing content. Yeah, there is some TikTok content, maybe 1 minute or so, but like the ones that really trend are those
dances.
Short. The ones you really remember the most are the ones that are short and condensed with like comedy or something.
The ones which are to the point. And of course, those which have like the highest quality, usually those are the ones with the most views.
But there's now even like a TikTok mansion or something like that in the US.
TikTok mansion.
It's like, how do I put it? My brother subscribed to this channel using my account. So like it's like these elite TikTokers, as I think they call themselves, who sort of like live together and just live to make TikTok videos. Like,
oh, so it's like a rip off of the Sidemen House or or the what are they called, those Jake Paul 10 guys? What was the house called? Oh, the Clout House. Yeah, something similar to
the
that.
Clout House. Yeah, you can say that.
It's a rip-off because that was like 2, 3, 4 years ago when
Yeah.
when that was a thing where you had the Sidemen House, you had the Clout House, you know.
Yeah. And the Sidemen are pretty they're pretty strong right now. They're still these them because of you guys and KD and Boax and all.
Yeah, but then with those guys now, it's not like they're still living in the Sidemen House. Like they've outgrown.
Okay.
So there's a TikTok house now. Interesting.
TikTok.
Speaking of TikTok, did you hear that it might get banned in the States?
Yeah, I heard it might get banned in the States. Where did I read that from? In fact, apparently India banned it first, for some reason. Privacy concern, and they decided to ban it. And the US is also on the road, according to the news I picked up from, I forgot where.
Yeah, you just find these things in random places.
These things, there's too much knowledge out there, so you just find these things out.
Yeah, when someone says something, you just know that you know it. Where you found it,
it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter as long as it got to you. But then apparently it's being banned for political reasons. The fact that now it's kind of mainly owned by China, and you know they might violate privacy policies and all these different issues that come into it.
That's the main concern. The main concern is China.
Yeah,
it's always China. If there's US and there's something wrong, it's always China or Russia. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think China is the trendy one now. Because before that it would probably be some Middle Eastern country or Russia. Those are usually the ones fighting against the States. There's always the States, which is the common factor in there.
Which is the common. China's always to blame for some reason because of coronavirus. Now they're famous because of that. And
modern day colonialism, let's not forget that.
Yeah, all of that. So people want to blame China for everything.
But it's kind of dodgy though. The fact that they don't have TikTok in China, but then it's owned by is it like one of the only few which are endorsed by the Chinese government?
Yeah, it's one of those apps that are endorsed by the Chinese government. It's quite popular, in fact, in China.
Oh, so if it's international, but then China has shares in it, then the Chinese people can use it.
Exactly, you scan. No, my main issue with people being against TikTok is all these social media apps are basically the same, bro. Facebook also sort of like invades our privacy. All these social media websites, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, we sign a form of consent.
Yeah. To them actually having that data.
Exactly. And there's a part where it says they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
Not entirely whatever they want, but they can't manipulate it and all. But like if the government wants that
information, then they are obliged to actually, give it to the government, and they can use it for whatever purpose they need it for.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the reasons I wasn't so happy about joining the TikTok train. It's just one more company having my data.
and one more application taking your like just, I don't know, sucking the time out of your day.
The TikTok is like a wormhole, dog. It's a literal black hole, bro. Like,
I mean, all these social media platforms are wormholes. Let's just be honest.
Exactly. The way it's been designed, like the way I've seen people use it. So it's not that I'm completely in darkness about how it works.
Yeah, oblivious to everything.
Yeah, it's sort of like, in fact, Russia released some sort of like version of TikTok. I'll talk about it later. You are watching your video, right? The one, the TikTok, the TikTok video. And what's cool about TikTok videos, what makes it addictive is because, number one, it's in portrait mode. So there's one less step. You don't need to put it like this. It's just like this. And that's like the natural way you hold your phone. And number two, it's so easy to hop on to the next video. You just swipe up.
Yeah.
Sure. People who know, they will talk about it in the comments. But like, what I do know is it's so easy to chain watch videos or binge watch them that you won't even see time flowing. And like we mentioned, TikTok videos are just so addictive, dog. They have this candy-like sensation.
Yeah, it actually, you know, they like hire psychologists and, you know, whatever other personnel to conduct research on how the human mind works and what maximizes the amount of dopamine being excreted by an individual. So that's exactly what they're doing. So it's legit like giving you drugs.
Legit. It's
indirectly.
I would count it as like a legal form of drugs. You know, it's more addictive than cocaine. It's okay, not cocaine. It's more addictive than tobacco. Maybe we use it more than alcohol is used. It's,
you see,
terrible because you can find a child on TikTok 6 hours straight, not taking a break, not even blinking. I mean, taking a break to like rest their eyes or even go to the toilet, do something that's not on your phone.
Yeah, bro, Ons be sleeping for 3 hours.
Exactly.
Instead of healthy hours, because you know you're just there binge watching videos. But then I guess that's how all entertainment platforms are in the present day. You know, and
even
it's quite,
Facebook now.
Yeah, I feel like Facebook, they've been doing that though. They've been on that train of you know, making you binge watch throughout. Even like before we started this podcast, I was on Facebook and I realized that I was on Facebook for a full hour when I was supposed to be there for like 10-15 minutes.
I was on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, where you're like, I posted something in the morning on Instagram, so like, let me just check up on it, see if anyone responded. It was more of like a story with a question, so I have to check the responses. Yeah, I didn't check the responses. I don't know if you checked the responses. It was like 1 minute of checking responses and then 15 to 20 minutes of just scrolling and liking and looking through people's profiles and all of that.
Bruh. Memes are the new drug, yo, bro. You know, the time I realized this was like, there was this other time, right? I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be on Facebook and you know, go through 2 seconds just before I dose. And this was around 11 in the evening. I was like, okay, maybe by 11:30 I'm done.
You'll be
1 o'clock. I was still
you see
there.
yourself, you're like, it's time to sleep
1
now.
o'clock.
Like, hey, dog. I think, dog. And what makes these social media, what it made it worse for me was that now all these Facebook, Instagram, these apps now have a night mode. About 2 years ago, none of these applications had a night mode.
Yeah.
WhatsApp recently introduced night mode, like, was it early January or like late December, somewhere there. Facebook introduced, I forgot when it was introduced, but it's not so long ago. Instagram was sometime last year. It's also not so long ago.
And yeah, it's like they're just making you, more comfortable in that drug state.
So
they're just making it more luxurious.
Yeah, your eyes are like, it's okay. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah.
But you should be sleeping, but like, it just made it 3,000 times more comfortable for you. You lose your sleep, and you just laugh. You find until you know to go, now I have to sleep, dog. Now I have to sleep. Because even my phone, my phone's now on night mode, which is probably a bad idea. I think I should remove it now that I think about it. My phone's on night mode, and like it's on default night mode. So whatever application that has night mode, it'll automatically switch to night mode. I don't need to fiddle with it in the application.
Bro, this whole night mode thing is just a sabotage. It's
a whole sabotage, though.
Bruh, like, it's crazy. But then that's how they make their money, by collecting data. Because that data is being sold somewhere. The fact that they're collecting it and you're not making anything out of it, you get. Because you realize that you are searching for something on a certain website, and you know that you logged into you are logged into your Google account, right? But then when you go to YouTube, you are going to find those exact ads of stuff which you're looking for. How do you think they do that? That information is being sold.
Exact same ads.
That information is being sold to those people for money, real money. Whilst they
real actual money,
having 2 hours less of sleep for nothing.
For nothing. And when you're just dreaming, you're just daydreaming about what you can. I've noticed most of social media is like daydreaming, and the most attractive stuff is the stuff you sort of like want to do in your life.
You want to have.
Yeah. Basically, I'd classify it as Pinterest content. Basically, like it's not content on Pinterest, but it resembles Pinterest, and it's on like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Like, content on Pinterest, it's cool because it's inspiring. But now content on you lasting for it,
Yeah, I think
looking at cars.
It's either something you want, or it's something that you get your mind off things. So in general, it's just you escaping from reality. That's kind of what social media has become. You looking at those. It's either you looking at those nice cars, or you looking at the memes, laughing your head off because you're trying to take your mind off, the stress of the course or whatever it is that you're struggling in.
Whatever.
So it's genuinely just escape. It's just escapism. That's what's going on.
Hey, heavy escapism, dog. Heavy escapism.
But then, do you really think the US is going to fall through with that? Because it is like making a lot of money for these major companies.
You mean TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok.
I don't know, eh? Okay, for one, what I know, let me start with what I know, and then I'll try and give my conclusion at the end. Number one, what I know is the US has sort of like banned children of government workers from using TikTok. Let's say you're a child of the senator or child of the president or something. You're not allowed to use TikTok. It's not allowed to be on your phone.
Interesting.
And obviously also the workers of the government themselves, Donald Trump, to be on TikTok. But like they're also not allowed.
He's the Twitter king, come on.
He's a king.
He has to pledge allegiance to his domain.
But like, they're not allowed. What I know is they're not allowed to be on. They've been advised to not. I don't know if it's like a forced thing, but all I know is they've been advised not to go on TikTok. Now, do I think they're gonna follow through with it? I kind of think they are, for the simple reason that, okay, for the reason that one, it's competition, you know. Less business for TikTok is a social media business, right?
Yeah.
So it automatically falls in competition with all the other social media apps, and we do know that most of these social media apps are Silicon Valley apps in the heart of California, you know. So they come up as straight competition against them, and eventually competition against the economy of the US. So if there's less business for these companies, there's more business for TikTok. You know, you can do the math around that and see how it's going to go. Some apps are going to pull off from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and they're gonna put all the funds into TikTok because they know that's where the advertising is. That's where
the hype is, because the hype
exactly
is
that's
what's
where the
making the
hype
money.
is. That's how advertising works. You advertise to where the hype is. That's why football has a lot of advertising, and also basketball. Like look at, and it's gotten so bad in football, not bad, but it's gotten so big in football that even teams identify with a certain brand.
Yeah.
Team fans identify with a certain brand. It's not even about let's say Chelsea. It's not even about Chelsea anymore. It's about that Samsung brand. You know,
Right,
Chelsea did the worst thing
3
season, and they decided to switch the season kit in the middle of the last
3 guys. 3
I don't
in front of you.
You
No.
see,
That's just a joke, man. Nah.
You see, so Chelsea decided to do that, and when you look at the comments of when that switch was made, you see Chelsea fans saying, "Bring back the Samsung days."
The Samsung, yeah, because that's kind of the identity that we have associated Chelsea Football Club with.
Exactly. Most of Chelsea's success was during that Samsung era. And maybe you'd hear Manchester fans saying, "Bring back the days of AIG," or maybe something like Vodafone. Yeah. Because a lot of Manchester's success was during that era. And that's how advertising works. It's where the hype is, you know.
Yeah, but then you find out that it's like in the States, it's to a worst extent, especially when it comes to like American football. Because after every play, there's literally an ad.
Imagine.
Like during the Super Bowl, like there's this other time I just decided, let me see what all this hype about American football is. Why these guys, you know, they hype it up so much. The amount of ads which are in there. Like it's more like every 5 minutes there's an ad.
There's an ad.
So and then I feel like it kind of, you know, it kind of ruins the essence of the actual game. But then that's just my opinion. I guess people, you're always going to adapt to it and get used to it anyway. But they pack. Like with American football, it's mad. Like it's crazy.
It's terrible.
But and then they do make money from it, though. I can't lie. Because a lot of these guys will be watching it.
Don't like advertising in sports. Yeah. I don't like lots of advertising in sports because it sort of like just stops the whole game. You end up not watching the game. You're just watching a row of ads, you know. You could have just went to the supermarket and see all these companies displaying that stuff, or like a world fair, a trade fair or something.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I think that's what prevents me from watching certain sports. Too much advertising, mate.
Yeah, you end up just leaning towards watching highlights and
you're just watching the highlights and moving on with life. But like, we'll see. Maybe TikTok, I think it's gonna be around for some time, eh?
Yeah, it might have some sort of longevity unless like they expose like serious dirt.
Yeah,
You know,
you
the
scan.
foundations of the actual app and from maybe the people who are sponsoring them. If not, then yeah, it's probably going to
But like,
last. If they remove it from the states, then it's probably still going to be active in other countries.
all these companies have dirt, you know, they have some dirty secrets. All of these companies have dirty secrets. They have something hidden. There's something. There's something.
As I put my conspiracy theorist hat on. have you seen the meme where they put aluminium foil on the head so that they don't get affected by 5G waves? 5G is trying to fry our brains. Like that's how they make it though.
When 5G was another thing, bro. You know,
5G was another amongst many other things in 2020. 5G
you know,
just put itself in there.
It's just 5G, dog. I laughed so hard at those memes, you know.
Because they're always gonna find
there's
something.
greater radiation as compared to 5G.
Bruh. Like right now, we're exposed to radiation more dangerous than 5G.
Dude!
And people just don't know it.
Some people are like, COVID. Bro, how? How, bro?
No, but I guess it's kind of you know, entertainment for some people. Just like the way people wanted to raid Area 51 with the Naruto runs and all that stuff.
Dog, some people took that 5G thing seriously. Like, not even like, I'm not
They
even
were scared.
kidding.
Like, they were ones who were genuinely scared out there. They're like, yo, Elon Musk is out to get us, guys. He is out to get us. We can't trust this guy. He's probably reptilian.
That thing. Dude! 5G. I can't with 5G, dog.
You know,
Speaking
of crazy stuff, let's address the elephant in the room. Coronavirus.
Yeah. Coronavirus. It's what brought us to this point.
Guys,
it's what sort of like fueled it anyways.
But a rat.
I'm hearing it's a bat. Was it not a bat?
Oh, it was a bat actually. Yeah, it was a bat.
It was a bat.
Some own just decided, nah, fam. Yeah, we hungry out here. Scave bat. You know, might be a real life Batman out here. Start eating bats. But then I kind of understand it though, like with Chinese culture, they get to eat all these different things because there was a certain point in Chinese history, especially within the 20th century, where starvation and famines were a real thing. Like, it was a big problem. And the leadership was so bad during those days that, you know, people would starve to
death. The communist era.
Yeah, the heavier communist era, let's call it that. Yet where it was so bad because these guys were trying so hard to become superpowers, you get, at that point in time. And then they came the opium wars, you know, because the UK always just wanted tea, and they decided, let's get these guys addicted to drugs so that they can sell us tea. And then, you know, production started decreasing because, you know, the country wasn't being run as well. So that means they had to actually start eating those snakes and
they had to eat something.
Because they couldn't, you know, they couldn't grow crops, they couldn't rear livestock sufficiently. So they had to find a way to survive. So it was like that. I don't think it would be fair to, you know, make fun of them for eating bats or snakes or these other things, because, you know, at once upon a time, it was a real issue. It was food was a real problem.
Yeah.
They had no choice but, you know,
It was a real problem, eh?
It was, and
Yeah.
in other
I'm
areas,
not the
actually in
biggest.
China, it still is a
Mm-hmm.
problem because remnants of
So
that
they,
era where there was hunger and poverty, and there was actually a super big depression. Like it was, it's been underlooked in history. I feel like how bad it
yeah,
was in China. It's been underlooked. Like there have been so many other events, but
but
it feels like this was being
mm,
put in the background.
yeah, yeah. I think you have to think about that. I'm not a big advocate for like culture change and all because every country has its own culture, but this culture it has changed, dude.
So you're telling people to stop
This
eating
one,
bats.
this is the one culture has to change. Like, guys, come on, it's
What are
your
they
health
gonna
at
eat,
hand
bruv?
here. No, there's. I mean, I believe there's now a sufficient amount of food in China. I think.
in,
I
in
think
in maybe in many places, if there are any people who are
in
familiar
most parts,
with the
yeah,
China demographic, comment
yeah.
below and inform us. But I feel like there are still some places where it
Yeah.
actually is an
But
issue.
okay, let me put it this way. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. In places where there is food that is not dangerous, the dangerous food shouldn't be eaten. Because you have an option to eat the non-dangerous food.
Bro, what if that's what you're used to?
That's the thing. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. This is where change begins by breaking off what you're used to. A culture is basically an amalgamation of everything you're used to doing.
Hey, big words, amalgamation.
It's not big words, but like let's take the coronavirus. It started in Wuhan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Wuhan is a gigantic city. I don't know if it's an industrial cap. It's not an industrial capital, but it's like a big city, and there's a lot of basically business and opportunities happening there, as compared to maybe a rural part in China. Inside rural part here, I don't know which one, but like I think it's possible for Wuhan to stop endorsing these are street foods in China.
Yeah.
I don't think you can just walk into like maybe like a Pick and Pay version,
And
a
pick a
Chinese
bat.
version of Pick and
They
Pay,
just have
and just pick up like a snake or a spider. I don't know.
in the deli section.
But like you see, but like these street markets, they should be governed or like something should be done about them
I
because
feel like there are laws maybe which govern how like policies which go into what you can give to people, what you can sell, and what you can't, and all these things. And probably bets were a perfectly fine thing according to their policies, because maybe it's something it's one of those delicacies they've been
you see,
partaking of for a long time. But then,
yeah,
when it
yeah.
comes to wild animals, there's always going to be a danger of you contracting some sort of disease.
Let's just be honest. When it comes to animals, anything that has feet or legs or like can walk, maybe
Yeah,
make a sound.
yeah, just animals in general, because they have a different, what can I say? They have a
Makeup.
different genetic makeup from a human being,
Mm-hmm.
so that means they can withstand certain bacteria or viruses, and they might have
Exactly.
like a symbiotic relationship with those bacteria and viruses. Just like
Mm-hmm.
I think is it the tapeworm has a symbiotic relationship with cattle,
Oh yes, yes,
because
yes, yes, yes.
cattle isn't their ruminants, they're four stomachs, so it kind of
It
aids in
can't exist.
digestion.
It can't exist outside.
Yeah, that
Um,
that that environment, and it helps the
outside that
cow with
environment.
digestion as well. So I
Yeah.
think so yeah, if now we start partaking of those things and we don't really have that makeup, then of course you're always going to get issues. You get, just like
Yeah, you
if
can.
cattle if cattle or a dog was to partake of human being, it might get sick as well. You get, because we
It
also
will.
have
It's
we
not
also
even might.
yeah, definitely will. You see, because it won't have those antibodies which will be able to deal with, you know, what we can deal with, because we
That's
have
very
different
true.
makeups altogether. So
Yeah.
yeah, but then
And I think how what?
you know what? Never mind. Continue.
No, how what? How should what?
No,
Okay,
just make your
here's
point. Then I'll ask.
the thing. I think it's okay. It's always an individual effort, but like every individual should really take time and look into what they're eating, especially due to this COVID. It's not even just about bats and snakes. Every country has a weird food that has become a culture.
Yeah,
Every
donkeys.
country. In bots, we have pani dog.
Yeah, Panu, definitely. Just imagine you're straight from the UK.
Someone
Straight from the UK, you go to bots, then they are feeding
exactly.
you. Then they feed you spiky worms.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Imagine someone coming from the UK or the US just pulling up to bots and like, yo, skate. And the person's like, hey, yo, dose me some native food, something I can eat and it screams Botswana or something you guys are used to eating.
Then
And you
bam,
show the nigga funny.
like
Like,
nah,
bro.
fam, I'm not about that
Yeah.
life.
Exactly. You see, and every country has it. You remember the time we went to Zambia and Mr. K took us to this Zambian food restaurant
Yeah,
thing.
shout out to Mr. Kalomo.
Shout out to Mr. K.
Big Don.
But where it was just Zambian foods.
Yeah. I remember the place.
I remember there was this other dish made up of this tiny fish with big eyes. I can't
For all those Zim owns who are watching, he's talking about Matemba.
As a person coming, no.
I bet
That's
you're
a big
shook,
red
eh? You're like,
flag.
what is this? What are they feeding me?
That was a red flag, dog.
You're like, first day in, these guys are already showing me witchcraft.
You see, I grew up in a place that doesn't have many rivers. You know, I'm from in Botswana, where I come from. There are not many rivers, so we don't eat lots of fish.
Yeah, in general.
And when I saw that fish, I was like, hell no. Hell no.
Hell to the no.
I can eat fish, just not this one, man.
But it's actually that's actually a delicacy, you know, in the same.
You see, that's what I mean. Every country has
you just got with the salsa. Hey, Charles, my G. You're playing.
You see, I also wouldn't eat pani because pani man.
But pani is chill though.
It's a worm.
I mean, visually looking at it, it's repulsive. But then taste-wise, it's not bad.
No, hey, but visually looking, Botswana have honed this art of making it look visually appealing nowadays.
What, Ellery, what? They're making pani that looks like it went to private school.
Haven't you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Hey!
Is there a picture that you can share? You can screen share it.
Let me see. I can't really think of some from that. I'm just gonna Facebook the word pani and we see what pops up.
Yeah, because actually I'm interested how they
A
are actually going to make this
where I could see pani.
How are they going to make this appealing? like that thing is ugly. Like it's uglier than the regular worm.
Dude.
And we eat it.
Okay. It's not something I would eat, dog. Like even when you see it walk and stuff. Yeah, no. This is a big red flag. Okay.
I can't even.
I can't talk about the visual. I mean the Okay. First, let me show the viewers. Maybe there's some people who don't know what we're talking about when we say pani.
Yeah, just Google it and screen share it.
Now, you can't find the word pani on Google.
You can find it, I'm telling you.
I'll
Just
screen
search
share.
for
I found it on Facebook.
Mopane worm. You can find it. It's there. I'm pretty sure you'll find it.
Me too. Enable screen sharing. Because, okay, still on pani. I can't talk about like the nutritional benefits of pani or like if it has any diseases within it or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, it's a living thing that moves and breathes and eats. Anything can happen. It can.
Like on Google, it's literally defined as an insect. It's an insect.
It doesn't have 6 legs. No, it's not an insect. An insect has 6 legs.
Well, out here, apparently it's an insect. When I looked on Google, insects, I don't know where the thorax or the abdomen is, but apparently it's an insect.
I know I last did biology like 4 years ago or something, but like it's not an insect for sure.
Bro, we're putting that IG knowledge to use. Let me try and screen share this.
For real.
For people who don't know, this is the Mopani worm. So as you can see on the 4th image, I think.
Okay, wait, it's loading. There we go. Hey, that's it. Straight.
Yeah, so it's out here.
Straight.
We have some in. Look at that dish. Like this is cooked Mopani. Eh? We have fried over here, and then we have cooked. Apparently, you can put it in soup as a stew. I didn't know that, but apparently it's a thing.
You didn't know?
I didn't know.
Listen.
I thought you just fried it and that was it. That means my knowledge was limited.
I'm telling you, when I say people have harnessed the way of making this thing look like. They can make it look like yo.
But I don't think I'd eat the stew version, man.
A whole restaurant selling dishes made of pani, fam.
Like it's like an actual pani restaurant.
Yeah. Not a pani restaurant, but like a restaurant with pani dishes.
Yeah,
and it's treated as an exotic dish in the menu, you know, masonja.
Shout out to the Northeasterners. Easterners, is it? Northeasterners. Masonja.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't it?
And
isn't it? It's somewhere I've heard. I think it's called Macimbi as well. Somewhere. But that's probably
maybe like north of Bots. Like north, not northeast, but like north.
North, like maybe, what, Kasane North?
Maybe somewhere there. But I don't. Kasane doesn't grow pani. Yeah. Does Kasane grow pani?
Kasane doesn't have that. Kasane doesn't have that many Mopani trees.
Yeah,
I don't think it does.
And Kasane has a different climate altogether.
Yeah, so probably they wouldn't at all. But anyways, you know, we went way off track.
We went off track, but I was saying, like, because of the coronavirus, people should be mindful of what they eat. Governments should look into. I don't think any one government has like a black and white law on what people should be eating and should not be eating, which is, it's fair. It's fair. People should have the right to ingest what they want, but like, they should at least sort of like create awareness of what's not good and what's good for you. The same way we're told not to smoke, but smoking is legal, and we're told not to drink, but drinking is legal. There's some sort of awareness, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
The food that's illegal in Botswana, or like the animals that are not allowed to be eaten, are the ones that are endangered. Like they are banned due to the fact that they are endangered.
Endangered,
Meaning,
and they're on the verge of extinction.
yeah, like lions and rhinos and elephants. Botswana used to treat elephants unique. In fact, there's still people that still do eat
Yeah,
them.
actually, there are still people who eat elephants, but isn't that illegal now?
It's not illegal. It's not illegal.
Because
It's
in
okay.
that it has to be killed.
No. Like they go and okay, I can remember that some elephants that are culled. There's this culling law nowadays.
Yeah. Because of the whole them going into farms and
Overpopulation and stuff. So like that flesh, you can't just kill an elephant and leave it in the middle of nowhere if there are people that actually eat it.
Yeah, that's true. Facts.
So like they sort of like treat it like beef. Cow. Okay, let me not say beef. like game meat. It's like game meat.
It is game meat, essentially.
Yeah. Essentially, it's not game meat how to eat, but it's game meat.
You do you. If you're out here eating elephant, enjoy life.
It's cool, So it's now up to us to make some sort of research and create awareness on. I personally would say, dude, just don't eat. Just don't eat anything weird.
Yeah, please.
Actually,
anything that you don't like looking at, just don't eat.
Don't eat anything that's farmed. That's not farmed, dog.
Yeah, because essentially you're putting yourself at risk and you'll end up having COVID 2.0.
Exactly. But I like what's weird for me now that you mention it. It's something weird when you contrast like the foods the Bible endorses, the meat the Bible says you can eat, and then versus the ones that don't, that we're not supposed to. The meat we can eat, like I said, most meat is dangerous, but the meat that can't be eaten, it won't kill you or like won't cause COVID 2.0 or like it won't.
Yeah, it will just raise cholesterol levels and give you gout.
Yeah, raise cholesterol levels and increase your risk of cancer. The normal stuff.
Yeah, the normal stuff. Just bypass that like it's nothing.
I hate that that's the new normal. But like the other meats, these game meats and all these other weird animals. Yeah, we've seen how they've been dangerous and how the meat is just bad for our body. So take a tip, look at what the Bible says you can eat. If you can, just stray away from meat.
Yeah, just go vegetarian and start making other people feel bad about eating meat.
Now that you mention it, these vegetarians that make people feel bad about it.
Bro, owns are out here flexing. They're out here flexing. They're like,
dude, that's like a.
You know what? You're increasing your chances of this and that cancer by 31%. You know what? If you didn't eat meat, you'd gym even harder than this. You know what? If you didn't eat meat, you wouldn't get chowed by this course. And they do it subliminally, passive aggression.
Yeah.
Those be out here like that.
Those types of vegetarians, then there are these ones that have made food like they tell you, hey man, na Regina man. Na Regina man. We just eat vegetables. And I'm like, okay, and
okay, bro. Good for you. Congratulations.
So you're gonna die before me,
And I'm 50.
And I'm like, yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe I used like when I was still in high school, there was a point I became full vegetarian. In fact, not full vegetarian, almost vegan. In fact, like I stopped drinking milk products. I just stopped eating meat and all of that. And I think maybe I used to be that
full-blown hippie.
Full-blown hippie.
All that was left was the van and weed, and you'd be set.
Legit. I even had a guitar.
Late.
All I needed was a van and bootleg jeans.
Bootleg jeans and the glass and the Rockstar glasses.
Dude. But like, I think it taught me what over the years I learned that that's just not a way to endorse anything, even a diet. You can't make someone change by making them feel bad about what they're doing.
I think it's just human nature where we do it, without
Woke
realizing
culture.
that's what we're doing. You were saying?
Woke culture.
Yeah, I guess woke culture where, you try and patronize someone into having a point of view that's similar to yours or into perceiving things the way you see them.
Exactly. And we don't notice that we're nudging them further away by sort of like,
do this, do this, do this.
Do this, do this, do this. Hey, you're doing this. You're harming the ecosystem. Hey, stop doing this. Hey, stop doing that. Hey, stop. All of us are harming the ecosystem for crying out loud. Don't just point out a person because they eat meat, sort of endangering the animals. Bro, we're all endangering the animals. You wear leather. You probably have a leather belt. You probably have plastics in your house. You probably take a car to school work.
Bro. Yeah, that person's definitely taking a car to school. Usually these owns with
Exactly.
money.
No, there are lots of things behind it.
But then besides, the eating bats and all that, how do you think lockdown has changed you or affected you as a person?
Lockdown. What month are we on lockdown now? It's July. March, April, May, June, July. 5 months.
5, my G. But apparently somebody's seen August before all of us. But we'll get to that later.
Okay, we'll get to it later. I have a story on that. Okay, so it's been 5 months of lockdown, and most of the 5 months I spent them in school. School didn't close for us, so like when lockdown started, it was we move. Life continues. Ish, dog. Like, and I remember my Russian teacher, like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Coronavirus. It's before Corona. There was even a first case in our city, but we knew it's coming.
Yeah, because it was already in the news and stuff.
Yeah. Like, what's gonna happen? Who's going to do what? Are we going to stop schools? Like, we're gonna have classes normal, even if we go online. We're gonna have classes normal, and they did not lie. But like, I think on a personal, besides like me attending school, on a personal note, I can say at the beginning, I did have a bit of anxiety about it,
eh?
Because it's a new disease.
Yeah.
And at that time, you weren't really extremely knowledgeable of how much it can affect you as a person.
Yeah, no one knew a lot about it.
Yeah, you don't know if it's gonna kill you or like it's gonna just sting you 2 minutes.
And so many people had so many different opinions. Other people were saying you are gonna die. Other people are saying this is over exaggerated. It's nothing. It's not a big deal. So there were all these pulling forces, and just to add to the already
very different opinions. Other people are saying this is a fake pandemic.
Of course, our fellow brothers in aluminium heads.
The world of conspiracies. I salute you, brothers.
They were
How
out
can you
here,
say
man.
something is fake when people are dying, dog?
Legit dying. They're saying, hey, the stats are fake. It's all.
I was like, yeah, no. There's someone out there who's lost a child, brother, sister, because of something, and you're saying it's fake.
And you're saying it's fake. Like it's a real life thing going on right before our eyes. For me, actually, it's when it first started, it was around February, late February, March, early March. Yeah, first, of course, we learned that it was there, right? And then, of course, they were opening like testing centers and stuff because these guys are quick this side. They were quick to do everything. They were opening testing centers. You could go and get tested. But then we were still on campus and, you know, everything was set. And yeah, we were cool. We're like, okay, things are going pretty well. It won't spiral out of control. Then
that's what I thought as well.
Then it was on a Sunday when the president made an announcement that the nation is going into lockdown. And then all of a sudden, school just closed. Like the university board just had a meeting and they were like, "You're not coming back to school tomorrow," which was on a Monday. So
they probably didn't have a meeting.
Yeah. Or probably just say we had a meeting so that they look serious in life. Kanti, they were just on the phone like, hey, let's close this down. Then they decided now we'll close it. It's var. One time. Then they make it look all official on the email. So that it looks like we're actually paying our worth when it comes to school fees. But then, yeah, we closed, and that was for almost a month, where I was just locked in and doing nothing. Yeah, and it was a rough time. I won't lie. Then afterwards,
it was
we
really
resumed,
tough.
But then, you know, in a new format, started doing online learning. And
yeah.
When we had the orientation, you know, I was like, okay, this looks pretty chilled. This won't be as difficult as real life, face-to-face type of learning. You know, I'll be fine. This will be good. This will be nice. Looking back now, I was quite a big fool. I would like to admit it in front of the whole world. I played myself 100%. I didn't know what I was talking about. This has been the most difficult.
All of us.
It has been the most difficult. What can I say? Period of my life. Like I've never felt so hopeless in my life.
I thought it was the only one.
Bruh, those deadlines. Those deadlines. Like
they were just stacking. It was just stacking.
And the thing is, they would come, like all the deadlines would be probably on the same day of the week. And they'd be like 5. And then on top of that, you have to do these labs. On top of that, you have to watch the lecture videos. On top of that, you have to study and actually understand what lecture videos are trying to tell you. But so it was quite hectic.
There was a time I legit wanted to give in. I was like, I'm done. I just want to go home now. I was like, I was done. Like,
you're here.
I was here, dog. It was like I've done whatever I can, and it's not working out. Screw this. As soon as they open borders, I'm going home, I'm quitting.
Bruh. I can relate to this because there were certain moments in time I was like, why am I really doing this? Is this really what I want to be doing?
Exactly.
Like, why am I letting myself suffer? Like I could be doing anything else, but I chose to do this to myself.
Dog, that was the case. You know, even I had the same issue. For me, it's worse because I'm all the way here studying in a new language. No one at home speaks Russian. What the hell am I doing here? And that was the question I asked myself. Like, bro, for what good reason am I doing here? Why should I why, dog? Am I contributing to society?
Like how is this benefiting me?
Dude, and it took me a lot to actually try and harness that out of me. It took me maybe a month or two, you know. There was like I said, to me, COVID, the phases of lockdown, like the lockdown period, there were phases of me. There was that, yeah, anxious, it's COVID thing where you wake up feeling you even have COVID yourself. Every time you cough.
You cough, you're like, yo, they got me.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
And then afterwards, there's that part of COVID where you find some sort of escape. You turn to Netflix. That's how Netflix started having some deals. Not just Netflix, but a lot of these entertainment places, they sort of like increased their capacity with stuff. WhatsApp introduced a video call for 8 people. Zoom had free things. So you just find something to keep you just elsewhere,
Yeah. Again, escapism.
Yeah, pieces of that escapism era, that escapism part. I did a lot of things that sort of like escape. I had a Netflix. There was a time I was binge watching Netflix. There's a time I was reading books. There's a time I read I listened to an audiobook for the first time in my entire life. It wasn't bad. I just wouldn't do it again.
That's telling me otherwise. It was definitely terrible.
No, it's not because the audio books were bad, but like it's a subscription service, right?
So yeah, man, yeah.
It's not even about the money. I don't think I'll live up to the cost.
You're a student, full stop.
Exactly.
There's no need to go further. That explains everything.
Yeah. You see, it's
can't
not
be
like
out here playing for audiobooks.
Exactly. I'm not going to listen to that audiobook every single day. I know I won't listen to that audiobook every single day.
Definitely.
So I'm just wasting money on a subscription service. What else did I do? I got a guitar.
Yeah.
That's the one thing
I really wanted an instrument, but then unfortunately I couldn't get it. Since of course they closed all the stores. So so I couldn't actually buy any sort of instrument. So yeah, I was just there wishing. You know how you quench some of these hungers by watching people doing covers or people playing instruments. Stuff. That was me. I was binging on those, just to scratch that itch. Because it was
the day I got back home with the guitar from the shop was the day they imposed a total lockdown in our city. Like all shops closed, the malls were closed, and all of that. And I was like, thank God, because that day I had there was a specific guitar I wanted, and the music store didn't have it. They're like, you know what, the shop in Moscow has it, so we can order it. Then you come fetch it. We'll call you when it arrives. I was like, I don't have that patience, fam. It wasn't even because of COVID or anything. I was like, nah, I don't have that patience. They're like, no, it's just gonna be 4 days. I was like, I'll just take the other one. I wanted a semi-acoustic, but then I just settled for an acoustic. So
yeah,
I was like, yeah, it's whatever.
I mean, it's not like you're going to randomly find an lockdown.
Exactly. You see, and really I thought about it as like, if I need a semi-acoustic, I can probably get it from somewhere. I don't know where. Like, for the sole reason I need a semi-acoustic, I'll get it from somewhere.
Yeah, you probably find it anyway. But do you feel like you progressed musically during lockdown?
Yeah, I actually did. I wrote about 2 songs.
You wrote songs?
Yeah.
Hey, Mendel. Owen's making moves out here. Hey. Okay.
Yeah,
you wrote songs. That's when you know it's deep. When you start writing songs, emotions.
That's how much escape I wanted.
Start writing music.
Maybe I'll get to publish the songs one day. I don't know. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure people want to hear that. Should put it out sooner rather than later. So we want to hear, so that it's either they fanboy / fangirl over you, or they just destroy you in the comment section. I would enjoy either.
I don't like being fangirl or fanboy. JMS had this fanboy, fangirl vibe at times, and
Is it? I don't know. Isn't it you? You're the cool kids. So I wouldn't know.
I wasn't a
these
cool
things.
kid. Katie was a cool kid.
I wouldn't know. Is it you? You guys are the cool kids getting fan. Hey, Kutle used to get fan girls for days.
Exactly. Katie
No, the
was a
thing
cool
is,
kid.
it's because he accepted it, isn't he? He embraced it. He was living his life to the fullest.
He was living best
Hashtag,
life of his life.
hashtag pimp life.
That guy was a pimp, dog.
Just thinking about it kills me. Because it was every day. Every day.
And I was just shy, dog. So not shy, but like I can't embrace that fangirl, fanboy. It seems like there's too much because one, the literal people watching your every move now, and because they're watching your every move, anything you do is susceptible to change their minds for the good or for the bad, and people sort of now want to know your personal stuff too much.
Hey, bro, that's what this is the reason I feel like I'm not that attracted to social media, because I think my last post on Facebook was probably 2 years ago or 3. Who knows? And that was a profile picture.
Okay.
So that's how inactive I am on social. Like the only place where you find me semi-active is probably on WhatsApp or something. That's where you find me like posting statuses or something. But even that is rare. I only do that when I'm at the brink of boredom.
Yeah. I'm a comment section type of guy, you know. That's my space.
Really?
I like that. Yeah, I like by comment section I mean reading it and maybe laughing.
Yeah, laughing at the comments. Hey, Savage 100s.
But like, yeah, now that I don't post much on my private, my personal Facebook account. Mm-hmm. I use my Facebook page, The Soul Engineer. Follow The Soul Engineer on Facebook.
Yeah, guys, follow.
So that's where like I think maybe every 10 posts, 9 out of 10 are there. If I post on my personal account, I'm probably like, I want to talk to a specific community, like a specific
demographic.
Like, yeah, like as in, I actually want to be with my friends on social media. Yeah.
Not just being a personality.
Yeah. But like COVID, yeah, then after that escapism phase came the hey, school is real phase.
I actually have to start working, otherwise I might fail phase.
Because like the lessons, they started out pretty easy, you know. Some teachers, some not all, stopped teaching us for some time because it was working out. Some teachers just gave us notes, and yeah, it was pretty easy. And then it sort of like started accelerating now. Concepts became harder. We're learning a language, by the way. It was just so hard for me to learn this language over social media. I mean, basically over social media.
Because communicating is harder generally because it's not face to face. It's not like you can show someone directly, point with your finger.
Dude, I can't even say elaborate. I don't understand anymore. It's just, hey, man, I don't understand, but we'll see.
We'll see when you get there.
Yeah.
But is it just me or maths teachers always go in hard? Like from day dot, we just started getting piles and piles and piles of information.
I thought I was the only one.
I think it's just maths teachers. They have this thing. In high school, it used to be, we're already behind, guys. Let's start. Day one, we're already behind. We're behind. Already behind.
Dog, this day, dog. How can we be behind? You wanted us to come like when? New Year's Day.
Like on the first day when I was supposed to have, I think, for a lecture session, I was supposed to have 45 minutes for that math item. It took me double the time, 1.5 hours to actually complete.
Whole match.
And full match. It took me a full soccer match. And I kind of had to get used to the fact that, you know, I would have to skim over a lot of things and then catch up with them later when I'm studying. I had to come to terms with that because, like, generally, I'm a notes guy. You know, when someone is teaching me something, when I hear a concept which sounds important, I want to write it down and, you know, I want to digest it. But there's no digestion time during these things. There's
It's
no
locked down,
digestion
Baba.
time. It's locked down. There's no digestion time. They just post and they speed them up, is it? So that there's minimum data consumption. Because in it, like, they send us data bundles and stuff. And there are some kids who don't have Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
So they're trying to make it as compressed as possible. So that means they're speeding over everything. And also we have forums, of course, where you can ask questions. But then also on those forums, they might take days to answer you, or they might be answering the question in a wrong manner. So
you're never answered.
Oh, you're never answered at all. And this was for all the courses pretty much. So it was quite a hectic ordeal. And now we're being told that it's probably going to be like this for the rest of the year. Probably not going to go back on campus for the rest of the year. We'll just go back next year.
Yeah, even as I don't know when we're going back to school. The year is officially over. Year one is officially over. This, to me, it's not year one. For me, it's like year zero. But like my first year in Russia basically is officially over. I haven't learned this language. I thought I would have by now, but like because of this COVID, it was just bad. Because what took me, like you said, what took you what supposed to take you 45 minutes to do took you like 1 hour 30.
Yeah.
What took me 45 minutes to do took me 3 times that amount.
Because first you had to translate, and then after translating, you have to understand what's actually going on.
Yeah, there was that. Okay, read, understand. Okay, fine, translate so you understand for sure. Okay, fine, take back to Russian and try and remember this. And it was just the whole nightmare.
Yeah, it was
eventually crazy. Some things you just brush over. You're like, Futek, I'm just cramming the concept in Russian.
Yeah, and just get it over with. So that I can pass the course.
Exactly. You just to pass. Just to pass, man.
Yeah, just to get over the line.
Yeah.
But then that's a dangerous mindset, but that's what had to be done.
For COVID, there was no other option, my G.
Yeah, it was pretty much mal.
I feel maybe if I was studying in English, I would have had many other options.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, for me, there was no other option.
Yeah, I get it. It was probably a traumatizing experience for a lot of people.
Dog.
Especially,
and like you said, my maths teacher wasn't giving in, dog.
They were not letting us easy. They were not letting us off. They were just pushing.
Dude, but then, she once shouted at someone for coming a minute late in class. Let's say the class starts. You won.
You think I'm here to spoon feed you? That's when you start hearing all these things. They start giving you 10-minute rants. Can't you? You're supposed to start the lesson 10 minutes ago. They're still ranting.
He wasn't having it, dog. I'm like, dude, it's 9:41. 9:41.
Calm down.
Even in real life, in 9:41, you probably wouldn't even be in class,
bro. But then, I guess, fortunately for us, we didn't have to have like live lectures. Like all the things were pre-recorded, and you know all that. But of course, cool. It was always dangerous because you say, I will just watch this later since it's pre-recorded. But then later you have even more work that you have to work on. And then you are 1 week behind. You just blink.
Once found myself behind. Attending the lesson, like starting the lesson content like at 10 p.m. Because, it was just all over the place, dog.
It was nice.
It was just all over.
But I guess we kind of maybe through it, and we'll keep on making it through it. You know, hopefully we will come out of this with a different perspective on life. And you know.
Yeah, you're right.
I
can't say we have survived it.
Yeah, we're here, we're talking, we're laughing, we're not grim.
this is a good sign.
It shows that we're still alive emotionally. We're not
Exactly.
completely dead
A good
inside. I
sign.
mean, part of us are dead.
Yeah.
Like, part of me is dead. I won't lie to you. Part of me is dead
Yeah,
inside.
part of me, there's a part of me that was there pre-COVID. Now it's just not there. Like,
Yeah,
I guess I
gone.
should just, it's gone. Just accept it. And what I'm trying to work on right now is just trying to like work on what I can work on from now on, like the future from today onwards.
Yeah, because if you dwell too much on the past, then you just weigh yourself down, and you're already cutting off the initiative that you could have put forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's better to concentrate and focus on what's in front of you, and that way, things will flow easier, and in that way, you achieve way more.
That's very true, man. That's very true.
Yeah, and of course, also concerning this lockdown issue, we had the Black Lives Matter movement.
Black Lives Matter.
That was
Black Lives Matter.
An interesting period. Just
that was not even so long ago.
To inform anyone who was living under a rock, just give us a short.
I don't know what rock you're living under, especially if you're black and you're watching this, because I know most of my audience is black.
Yeah, no cap.
What rock would you really be living under, dog?
I mean, just give them, a little snippet of what was going on and what happened.
Yeah. I should tell you what happened. Okay, so Black Lives Matter. Okay, let me try and summarize it in the first. It's a long story, but like what really sparked it was like on the 2nd of June. A man named no, he wasn't killed on the 2nd of June. Maybe he was, I'm not sure. But like at the beginning of June, a man going by the name of George Floyd was killed by a cop. For I don't know what reason, but like that was an unlawful and an unfair way of taking a man's life, which sparked a movement of Black Lives Matter, because there's a lot of unfair treatment towards Black lives, not just in the US, in the world at large.
So but the exact date was on the 25th of May, 2020. That was the day when
25th of May.
Yeah, that was the day when he unfortunately passed away. So
may the family be comforted.
Yeah, and may his soul rest in peace. So what happened, of course, the reason why there was outrage now, of course, you'd be thinking there have been so many of these killings, why now? But this
this
has been
question.
Kind of accumulating to that point where there's so much of this that has been happening, and a lot of the times, of course, there is outrage, but it always died out, and then no one really spoke about it again. And then it happened.
This one
it happened repeatedly.
Yeah,
and then
I
of
think
course
this way it like blew the cork out of the wine bottle.
Yeah, this was the critical point, because it had been happening so frequently, and there are so many even unreported cases of situations where it was happening, and justice wasn't served. A lot of those police officers, the most that happened to them is probably just them getting fired and them being released from the police force, and that was it.
And then life goes on.
And then life goes on, like nothing actually happened. Like these people literally committed crimes, and they're not being charged for those crimes. They're just being released because apparently that's how the justice system works for police forces.
That's a good question. The justice system for people who are part of the justice system. No one is above the system. And more often than not, we've seen cases where sort of like measures taken against these people for whatever infringement they've done. It's sort of like, it seems as if they are above the system, therefore they get like a lighter punishment.
Yeah, that's actually how it works. Like in reality, that's how it is. When for example a police person does something that you might be charged for, let's say you might get a fine for, they will probably just get reprimanded.
Yeah.
I feel like there's this, what can I say, gangster mentality within the police force, where they have this mentality of looking after their own. So if somebody
it's not
does,
even just in the police, it's everywhere. There's a gangster mentality everywhere. There's a gangster mentality at work. There's a gangster mentality at church. It's everywhere. There's a gangster mentality at school. You know, let me give you an example. Let's say you are working for a big Fortune 500 company. I'm just giving an example. Let's say you're working for a Fortune 500 company and your executives are caught, one of the executives you work under is caught, let's say, stealing money from the company. Let's say like paying his daughter's school fees with the company's funds. That guy is probably going to be told to return the money and be reprimanded and left off with the reprimand. And then in the event that you do it and you are caught, you are probably going to be fired. A lawsuit is going to be fined against you. You know, all sorts of things that, and it sort of like spreads on the news, and you just become an outcast in the community.
Yeah, and your life is ruined.
And it's like, that's the case everywhere, you know. Every place has a gangster mentality, which is
that usually happens where you see that people are in positions of power. That's where you have that mentality of, okay, we'll just, let him off or reprimand him, and hopefully it will never happen again.
It's a sort of like hierarchy. If you listen to, I don't know if you know Jordan Peterson, but like if you sort of like, after listening to many of his talks or his snippets on the web, he talks a lot about hierarchies, and he says they exist, and we cannot avoid the fact that they exist.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and
that's how they are. And the higher up you are within the hierarchy, the more you can get away with.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are actual facts. Like you can tell from the whole Epstein issue, like there's so many suspects you have, but none of those people are being put into custody. And it's still ongoing, and so many things are being pushed under the rug,
Because high up the hierarchy, and not only are you high up the hierarchy, you've been through the hierarchy, and you know how to
which loopholes
work your way through it.
What you can go through, and whatever methods you can, or whatever, what can I say, whatever systems or protocols you can go through in order to escape the punishment you're supposed to get.
You have experience.
Yeah, and you see that even like with the police brutality that followed the Black Lives Matter movement. There was, I think you might have seen this video of an old man who was trying to hand something to a police officer, I think.
I don't think I've seen it.
So he was trying to hand something to a police officer, right? It was an old, feeble man. You could see that he's old and feeble and weak. And then this police officer pushed him away, because you know that there's this whole panic that happened in pandemonium. So he pushed them, and then this guy cracked his skull against the ground, and he was bleeding. And no one went to help him. The police officers just passed him by. Yeah, no one went to help him. The police officers just passed him by. Like all of them. Even even though it's not all of them who pushed them, but no one actually ran by to help him and check whether he was okay. He was bleeding, and no one stopped to help him. And then for those people, guess what happened? They just got fired. And there were thousands of police officers clapping for them outside the court in support.
It's the thing with the hierarchy. It's dangerous. I for one, when this Black Lives Matter thing started, now that we talked about COVID, the Black Lives Matter thing started at a point in time where I was fed up with social media. So I decided to quit social media. So not quit per se, but like minimize the use and just sort of like detox because of escapism.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the movement, I was totally offline. Like I had deleted my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. I was just left with WhatsApp to communicate with my teacher. And when this started, I was like, yeah, life. And I wanted to avoid it on the basis of, at first I felt like, hasn't this happened all the way? Hasn't this happened before? Isn't this some, it felt like, okay, this happened before, gents, come on. and on my mind was like, gents, it's COVID, come on. Why are people doing this to other people? It's COVID.
Yeah.
People are still it's still COVID. Yeah, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's now eventually led to where we are now.
Riots, like a worldwide thing.
The worldwide things, companies changing their policies and all of that. And I think there are some things that I tried not to say too much about it because one, I was offline and people were still too sensitive about the matter.
Yeah, true.
I decided not to look at it I decided not to consider the George Floyd case from just the trending Twitter video we saw.
Yeah.
I think you remember it, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to look at it on an overall view, and I also wanted to look at the whole Black Lives movement on like an worldwide and a popular scale, like a large scale, not just one person being killed for a reason you don't.
The actual systematic interpretation and how it has been like that for probably hundreds of years now.
Yeah, I wanted to give myself that mindset. And there are lots of things I have to say about it. I try not to say them on social media because, hey man, people on social media are sharks, mate.
They'll come for you. They'll hunt you down.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm against the Black Lives Matter thing, but it's something you have to look at it's a sensitive thing.
And it has to be from an objective point of view.
Yeah, you can't just say, yeah, Black Lives Matter, Blackout Tuesday. That was the week, actually, now that you mentioned. That was the week I was offline. Like, I deleted that Blackout Tuesday. And I come back, I see people with black screens, black status. What was happening now? Blackout Tuesday. In real sense, I'm going to be dead honest. That almost does nothing for like the Black Lives Matter movement. It's
as much as the gesture is positive and you're trying to raise awareness. I'm pretty sure there has been awareness that has been raised in that manner for so long now, be it in entertainment, be it on television and advertising. It has been
at this point, people know what Black Lives Matter means.
Yes, at this point, what matters the most is action. You get.
Yeah.
What are we actually doing about it?
Yeah, I believe now. This is where I believe. I believe in giving solutions before while other people are complaining, because that's actually what changes the situation.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, the Black Lives Matter thing, number one, we can't defund the police, as people say. That's just detrimental to society as a whole.
Well, coming to that one, of course, you can't completely defund the police. Actually, you shouldn't defund the police, but instead,
yeah, I do have a solution.
You should be refocusing those funds on actual training, especially in the States, because you realize that most of these police personnel, individuals, have issues, have mental issues.
Yeah,
like they haven't. Of course, they have that panicky mood and that trigger happy type of mentality.
It's trigger happiness. Because
you're holding the training that they receive is like lackadaisical. Because I remember watching a podcast, a Joe Rogan podcast, where he was speaking to a certain
Jocko Willink.
I think so. I think it might be.
I watched that podcast, and that's really what opened my mind. So
because they're trying to defund it, like completely.
Yeah,
that will only make situations worse. But I think they should redirect their funds from buying all these tear gas, anti-terrorist type of things you get, to actually training their personnel to be effective in those situations. Because you realize, like, there are so many videos out now where the police people are arresting the wrong people. They're arresting the person who called the police
instead of the person who needs to be arrested.
Who needs to be arrested, or shooting people in the face with tear gas, like in the face. People are losing eyesight.
Come on.
And like there are so many of these situations because these people are not trained. They're not trained like how the military is trained. Military is trained in certain danger situations where you have to follow certain procedure before you take action.
Yeah, before you take action.
I was thinking about police forces don't actually get that sort of training.
Yeah.
Apparently, that training is only up to 6 weeks. Like that's the amount of training that they get. They only get
in their whole career.
In their whole career, only 6 weeks. Do you think that's enough for you to?
It's not enough.
Good judgment and make actual decisions on a very bad situation.
What I thought about was like, if you're a law enforcer, maybe not just police, whoever is in sort of like law enforcement whatsoever, it's like medicine, bro.
Yeah,
you're constantly educating yourself because you're dealing with people. It's like psychology. You constantly have to make sure you know how to deal with people in a relevant manner. That's like what you said. These guys, we can't defund the police, but we have to make them better at their job.
Yeah, and you can't just let anyone into the police.
Yes,
because you realize a lot of people, the reason why they want to be in the police is because they want to have that, that feeling of power, of being at the other end of the gun and having a control over a person's life. You see,
very true,
and that's a psychological issue.
And
people shouldn't, qualify to be in the police force, which means even when it comes to picking out individuals to go for that training, it seems like the testing is not adequate, and people are, and any Tom, Dick, and Harry is just.
I can probably become a cop when I want to.
Yeah, as long as you just go through the physical training, you are.
Yeah.
You see, but they don't test whether you have any sort of mental health problems. They don't look into those things, and that's how.
I don't even think they do like an aptitude test. They probably, they don't probably even do like an aptitude test. You know how medics do an aptitude test,
right?
I believe that should be the case with these guys who cops.
Yeah, because they don't have an aptitude test.
Maybe
if it's there, it's minimal.
Yeah, maybe at least one day of the many days they work, like one day of the week in which they work, the work week, it should be dedicated how to deal with people.
Yeah,
training.
Yeah, they need to get that sort of training.
Yeah.
And
The
I
same
feel,
way.
and because you see that even like you can see that they have the funds because you can see the type of equipment they were bringing out
Bro,
when they had to chase people off the streets. You could see that these
if you
people
can
have
chase
tech.
people off the streets, you can probably educate the cops to keep people
Exactly, you have the
safe.
funds because you could see that that was some pretty high tech equipment that they had and stuff which
That
they
was
probably don't need whatsoever, which was unnecessary.
that was just military equipment, bro.
That, yeah,
But
they
also,
like the police force in the States. Probably the reason they have it is because of what happened during 9/11, where there was a sudden,
terrorist attack.
terrorist attack. So they're like, okay, fine, maybe they kind of pressed the panic button there, and they decided the police force also needs military grade equipment. But then
Let's
now
go
you can see,
overkill.
but then now we even know that the States right now is in $1 trillion debts. You get that, trillions of dollars in debt. And
Yeah.
they're on top of that, they are misdirecting their funds to the wrong things. And it's being exposed now when things are going sideways.
When things are going wrong. Yeah, that was one thing, the police thing. And then another thing I thought was like, this guy keeps mentioning, if you listen to Vusi Tembekwari, it's not just about the Black Lives Matter thing, but like anything that involves a black man, he mentions it. Like, it's not in the system. You're part of the system. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
And it starts with you. It starts with a mindset change. It starts with I'm not gonna say stop blaming the system. Sometimes the system has to be held accountable for the actions. But like, don't make the system accountable for every single thing, even you waking up even you waking up on the wrong side of the bed. Do something good in your community. Build people instead of complaining that the community is wrong.
Make an impact.
Don't curse the darkness. Be the light. Don't curse the darkness. And I extended it not just towards Black Lives Matter, but like any black person, the black community, the African community, the African American community. We need to start we need to start, how do I put this? We need to start, actually, no, we need to stop complaining that our government's not doing this. Hey, the police is doing this wrong. Hey, this is what happened. Hey, this is one of that. Hey, no. We ourselves need to become better people, such that at some point even the system that seems so oppressive has no reason to be. Now, I say, don't forget that apparently this guy, George Floyd, if I'm right, he was caught for suspected drugs or something, something like that, and he was even high on, was it cocaine or something like that? I'm not sure. I may be wrong.
Are you saying like during the actual incident?
Yeah, the actual incident.
Oh, apparently that was fake news. That was made just to cover up
the police. Fake news.
Yeah, he actually wasn't in possession of any drugs or narcotics, and he wasn't. His autopsy was retested, and there was no cocaine within his system.
Yeah,
but apparently, he was acquainted. The policeman was acquainted with George Floyd, because they used to be, I think they used to be bouncers at the same club, or something like that. They might have crossed paths, but of course you could see that there's racial hatred.
Yeah.
Because
very true.
And apparently also what had happened is the reason why the police came in the first place, for those who don't know, is because George Floyd was in possession of counterfeit bills.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because
something to do with something about counterfeit.
Yeah, because the thing is, the guy, he was buying from a certain store, right? and then he gave the person money.
Mm-hmm.
That shop owner saw that the money was fake. So by law, you are supposed to call the authorities so that things are sorted out and the source of those counterfeit bills is discovered and all those different things. It was just procedure. So of course
the
he called
proper
those
measure
calls.
of the law is taken. So he did the right thing.
So he did the right thing. The shop owner did the right thing essentially.
Yeah.
And but then unfortunately for George Floyd, it just happened to be this certain police officer, of course, with his accomplices. And he ended up being arrested. And by law, it was an unfair arrest. You get?
Really?
Because
he's not supposed to be arrested.
Yeah, because he's not supposed to be officially arrested because he's just in possession. It's not like he was the one who was making or he was distributing counterfeit bills.
That's very true. It's like you can go to. I've been in hell. I've held counterfeit bills in my life. You go to Shoppers or like a shop, and you're paying whatever you're paying for. With, let's say you're paying for something at 100 pula, and it costs about 20 pula, and you get 80 pula change back. And within that change, you get like a 20 pula that's just wrong.
Wrong, yeah.
You see that's. And you won't even notice because,
most of the times you're not actually checking your money.
Yeah, you're like, it's red. Okay, it's 20 bucks.
Okay, cool. It's 20 bucks. We're set. So actually, it seems like this guy, the shop owner, regretted doing this. Like he felt bad because of course, he did nothing wrong. He was just following protocol. But he felt like, this guy might not. Yeah, he feels like there's blood on his hands. Although in all honesty, it's not.
He didn't.
It's to be honest with you, as cliche and shallow as this sounds, it is systematic. You get, because for hundreds of years, even like during the early 1900s, you realize that the black people were made in the US. I'm specifying here, in the United States, black people were made to live in a certain part of a city, and then you'd find out that all the factories and all the entertainment sectors and all the places where all the jobs are would be built within the area where the white people live. But then all the black people and all the Hispanic people would have to live on the other side of town. So that means it's either, if you are working, you'd have to travel from one side of the city to another. You get, but you wouldn't actually live there. And then you realize that on top of all those industrial factories being there and all those facilities, that means the values, the value of your property was also higher in that area. You get, which means in turn, the areas where the black people were staying, the value was just low. So so of course that affected the social economic
very true.
You get of that area, of the black and the area, and that's why you see that there are increased crimes. Of course, there's always going to be crimes because some people couldn't afford to go to the other side of town to get their job, because probably even if they got that job because of discrimination, they wouldn't get paid enough to make.
There's no money flowing in.
Yeah, to actually go to that side of town. They wouldn't be able to afford to go to that other part of town. And on top of that, their property, at a certain point in time, they were not even allowed to own it. You get, it wasn't in their name. It was under government. It was under the government. It was government owned, essentially. And then even when it was no longer government owned, the value is so degraded, you get, that you can't actually make anything out of it. And so that means even starting a business in that area is a problem because of, one, it's a low value area. Two, there's already that sense of this place has so much crime and this place, because the people who live there, they don't make enough income, they are not going to give you high value services or high value goods. So already, if you start a black business or you start a Hispanic business in that area, you're already
it's going to be hard.
2 or 3 steps behind.
But do you
so all
think,
these things
okay,
are systematic, man.
Yeah, I think you're right, because it's not, like I said, it's a sensitive issue because it didn't start today.
Yeah,
it spanned over hundreds of years. But
and
my question is, my question is, today, like in the present day, do you think that form of systematic, like the one you're mentioning right now, systematic racism, does it still? My biggest question. Actually, that still is my biggest question.
It actually does, as a matter of fact, because you find out that there's still some areas today, you'd be surprised, there's still some areas in the States where it's written on the leases that people of color are not allowed to stay in 2020. It's of course maybe you can buy a house there, but it's written in the lease. Of course, the council probably won't take responsibility of that, but you know that they just follow through with these rules, and some of them they don't really amend them, and some of these rules have been in effect for hundreds of years and have not been changed.
The thing also is,
but then you will find out that even though like there won't be open racism, you find out there will still be some sort of low-key resistance to you going into that area to start a business or to live there.
Yeah, that's true. Now that you mentioned that, let's take the idea of the land and the leases. So let's say let's look at people who sell land. People who sell land are usually people that have a large piece of land, acres, large pieces of land, and they
divide it
small chunks and they sell it as residential plots. Most of these people, we have to admit, they're white people.
Yeah, the majority is.
And what I've noticed is, if it's your land, you have rules. You make your own rules. That's how it works in America.
Yeah,
that's how there were many states in the first place. Whoever, I guess, it was a free land of the free.
Yeah.
And
it was candy-coated colonialism.
Legit.
Because they legit colonized other people's land. Because that was there for the Native Americans, but then they just decided, nah, we're gonna take it.
Man, I came here, this is mine. Put a fence around, something like that. I don't know the history of America, but we are watering it down. But that's not what I'm here to say. But what I want to say is, when it's your land, you basically have rules. You basically make rules about who you want to sell to, because you own the land. You want to engage in business with.
Yeah.
It's a form of racism, yes, but I wouldn't call it systematic, because the reason I say I wouldn't call it systematic is because it's someone's land, the government has no say in what the government, in who.
But remember, there are still legislations that are followed. You get there's still legislations in place,
like
which of course don't directly look racist, but they do have racist intentions with them.
Yeah.
And there are also there are also some effects of systematic racism that are still affecting people to this very day.
Very true.
So
Nigel
that's kind of
them. You once pointed them out. Like an example is that there's this thing of Ivy League schools. There's this, is it honor? No, like I forgot what the name is. But let's say your parent was in an Ivy League school. Your League school, you're going to get a discount, or it's going to be easier for you to get into that Ivy League school because your parents go there. And then he's like, on the broader spectrum, like if you look at it from just looking at it directly, you're gonna think, okay, it makes sense, pretty much makes sense. Almost every school's like that. But when you look at the reason behind it, you'd actually discover it was actually a sort of they wanted to like, it was a racist on its onset. It was a racist thing. Like the Ivy League thing, the Ivy League, whatever, I forgot the name.
Yeah.
Let me look for the name. He's applying.
Yeah, and whilst you're searching, speaking on that systematic stuff, it seems like a lot of it is also this generational wealth type of thing.
Yes.
You get where, of course, your ancestors owned a certain piece of land or owned a certain business, or were in association with other businesses, which means you as a descendant, you are getting certain benefits which a person of color might not have because their ancestors didn't have the same benefits or the same associations with businesses and all that.
That's what I wanted. That's what I meant. Like, that it was a form of generational wealth. So these people, I can remember at some point, Ivy League schools were only attended by white people.
Yeah.
So I couldn't find the name. I don't even know what to Google. So these people, were they sort of like agreed. Okay, we want to extend this legacy.
Yeah. Oh, that's the name.
Yeah, legacy program. Is it legacy? Something like that. It's a legacy program in the Ivy League school. So like, yeah, we defined it. So they wanted to extend this legacy, and in the sense that they only wanted the white kids to attend school. So they sort of like created that discount thing and all of that. They also didn't want Jews to attend these schools. You know, there used to be a lot of stigma against Jews, etc., etc. So that's an example of, I'd say, a nuanced form of systematic racism. But again, I'll still emphasize it's very hard to tell a person what to do with their land because it's their land. I
but
can
then
decide.
Also, it's difficult, you know, to make certain strides towards a certain goal because some people have a head start because it's pretty obvious that a certain demographic of Americans are going to have certain advantages because of their history and who was their ancestor. Because that's how generational wealth is grown.
Yeah,
it's by you creating links with different families, and that in that way you're maximizing your business empire,
the output, your chances of getting better, getting richer.
Yeah,
see. That's true.
So now, as a Black individual, of course you can work hard and you can get successful, but then you're going to have way more restrictions and way more limitations because now you have to start from ground zero, making those different connections, which somebody else already has those connections because their grandparents already made those connections long back, and their parents also made other connections.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
It's like a pyramid scheme, you get. Whilst when I are starting from day dot, you have to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, going through all these other, and you're going to get rejections from some, you see. So that means it's going to take even more time.
That's very
for an individual of color to get to a certain level than it would be for a white person in the United States anyways.
Yeah, but you know, I think you're right. You're very right. I once thought about it. I got so stressed. I got pissed, and I was like, I'm never going to think about this again. Because I reached a deadlock. I reached like a dead end with this. I was like, we know the problem. The problem is the history.
But what's the solution? What can we actually do?
Yeah, that was my main issue. I was like, I left it for some time. I was like, you know, when something like this happens, we can blame the history all we want, which is true. I'm not going to disregard the history, but it's true. But we have to think about the solution, man, because that's what we need eventually.
Yeah, I meant, in all honesty, man, just to be frank with you, the only way that the only way that
Mm.
we can actually, see strides being taken towards a solution is by starting.
Yeah, that's what
You see,
exactly. That's what came
because
to my mind.
we actually have to start these businesses. We actually have to
Mm-hmm.
start making these, and
Yeah,
not be selfish, and
and
also
not be
think of,
selfish.
because now us were thinking of instant gratification of, as long as I am alive, I want to start making money. I want to be bowling and making millions, and
Yeah.
that's it.
I
But
also
then
want to mention. Mhm.
generational wealth is not selfish.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Now
very
that now
selfless.
that you mention it, I also want to give an example still with, let's say, using the Ivy League,
Mm-hmm.
the Ivy League university example. Ivy League universities have been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's not like Harvard was opened in 2010 and it became the best university in the world
It
in
started
10 years. No,
trending.
no. Nah, it's not a modern day trend.
It's
So
been around.
yeah, what Black people should realize is, number one, it starts with work. It starts with action, as we've mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And and what I also like to add on is not only that, but like, look, we've been through these many years of oppression as Black people, not just in America. We as Africans have experienced severe forms of colonialism,
Yeah.
and etc. etc. We shouldn't allow other people to experience that because we know the pain. That's what I think. We should be inclusive in whatever solution we want to bring up, such that eventually we're trying to make a better world, right?
Exactly.
Because if we decide not to, and we decide, nah, I just want the Black person to strive, I just want Black supremacy, the tables are going to turn. And when the tables are going to turn, that we don't know, they might be able to turn again. Like if
Yeah,
we turn the
and then
tables,
it just becomes a cyclic situation.
yeah, it becomes a seesaw, you know,
And we don't actually get
and
anywhere.
one day it's sort of like cancel culture. One day this one's thriving, we cancel them. Okay, the person who was canceling that person starts thriving, they cancel that person.
That person
And
as
it
well.
just becomes, hey, this one's canceled, this one's canceled, this one's canceled, this one's canceled.
You know what? Cancel culture is a whole other conversation on its own for another time. Hey, if we dive into that one, we'll be here forever.
We'll be here forever. Yeah.
But then yeah, it's just about work, man.
The long and short I tell Black people is, look, man, if you want to build that university that has an Ivy League reputation, start by building that university. Yeah. Don't complain about Ivy League universities. Those guys have honed that craft, and they gained that not just by privilege, but also by actual hard work. We can also attribute privilege, but so we will strive to do the same. Yeah. Those white-owned businesses, they started by actual hard work. And
yeah, it's not like they just dropped from the heavens, alliance, fell and boom, we had white businesses.
Not like, hey, you're white, okay, you're going to be rich. No.
Of course, you have to put in some work.
A generational mindset, which is, if you want a business as a Black man, start by working on it. Start by doing what is right. If you want
to always have other people in mind and the future generations in mind, so that the opportunities are not as difficult for them as they were for you.
Exactly. Black people are dominating the arts and culture section. We can't even lie about that. And sports. Sports.
Represent.
Dog. If you watch Olympics and you watch the 100 meters final.
Late.
You can like 9 lanes in a track, right? You can see that 7 out of those 9 lanes are Black men from different countries.
Yeah, legit. No cap.
Dude. And then obviously you can, and then when you look at like other sports like long distance running. Sport. You see, so like let's get great at what we're good at and strive to working on an inclusive culture, not just for the black man, but for everyone.
For everyone.
Yeah, the black man, the Hispanic
because it's
man,
not
the
like
white
we're the
man.
only ones who have issues. Everyone
we all
has
have
issues.
White people probably have issues we don't know about.
Yeah.
The Hispanics have issues we don't know about. The Asians have issues. Where we can all be people.
Definitely.
And everyone is. I do believe we've made strides in that direction. We haven't made 100% mark. That's why you see Black Lives Matter movement and many issues around the world. But like compared to, let's say, 100 years back, I believe we have more equal opportunities. Like, bro, you got into a school, you applied, there was no sort of like bias because of your color of your skin, of which the school you're in,
this time, maybe even 40, 50 years ago, I wouldn't be able to get in because of it.
Exactly. I had a pastor, one of our pastors back at home. He went to the University of Stellenbosch for one of his degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So applying to Stellenbosch. So because he was in bots, he had to send it was before the email era and all of that.
Yeah. So you had to send like a letter. You had to write down a letter. Ish.
Yeah, you had to send an application letter by post and all these documents.
And you have to have
so
nice
they don't get
writing.
to see the guy. They don't get to see the guy. It's just a guy. Some guy is applying. The best they can assume is the color of his skin. The best way they can assume is by his name. But that still doesn't, it's still not 100%.
Yeah, definitely not.
So this guy is really smart. He graduated like with honors, magna cum laude, all that type of stuff. He was doing a postgraduate course at Stellenbosch. So he finally got, and he was also applying, I think he was applying for a scholarship there. Some sort of like bursary, financial program. So he actually got the program, and they was like, yeah, come to Stellenbosch, something like that. And this was like not even more than 20, maybe not more than 50 years ago. When you got there, they're like, what's this black man doing in Stellenbosch?
Yeah, and they'll say it to your face. They would
say, to explain, dude, I'm the same person you said I should go through.
Hey.
Exactly.
They were not shook.
Today you won't see that.
Yeah.
Today you won't see that.
just to clarify, guys, I'm not at Stellenbosch, I'm at UCT.
No, he's not at Stellenbosch. He's at UCT. But like,
just to clarify.
Yeah. UCT, it was one of those universities at some point. Just
I mean, kids. All major universities, anyways, they were all like that at a certain point in time. All of the successful ones, anyways.
Yeah, nowadays there's not that bias. Probably even the person who's working in admissions is probably a black guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's not gonna say John Smith. Okay, we'll let him in. Katlego.
Yeah.
I know.
No, this one he must go. We don't want him.
He looks at what the essence you have.
Yeah.
They look at you based on the essence you have, and not about your name, the color of your skin. Yeah, the color of your skin may elevate you, but like that's not what starts the conversation. It really is.
It's about whether they actually have that it factor.
So I can't say we've made strides towards a more equal society in terms of opportunity. We'll never have equal results. We will never.
Yeah.
We don't have control over the results we produce. We have control over the opportunities we take and the work we put in. As for results, you never see a farmer saying, hey, I don't want this sunflower to grow. He plants a sunflower seed and he says, I want it to turn into maize. Come on. No.
That was such a dad joke.
Nah. Like, do you know why I say this? I think we'll talk about this maybe in the next episode. Opportunities and what else did you say? Cancel culture. Equal opportunities culture. And cancel culture. Yeah, we'll talk about that maybe in the next episode. But like, why I mention this is because more often today, we want to push for an equal society, which is good. But at the same time, it's like we want that same equal society to produce results, like equal results.
Yeah.
Let me give an example. We want a society where, let's say I have a company. I let's just say I have a company. I don't care what it does, but like the company, and what people want nowadays is I get what we're pushing for women to have more opportunities in the work field.
Yeah.
And more opportunities, we've sort of misinterpreted into saying, of those 50 people in my company,
25
people
should be women.
Should be women, strictly. What if women don't want to apply, bro?
Yeah.
You see, that's equality of. That's now we're trying to produce a certain.
I think people should be going towards equity instead of equality.
Yeah.
Because with equity, you have equal opportunities, and there's not discrimination when it comes to what demographic you fall under. But with equality, you want everyone to achieve the same results. And
exactly.
That's not possible because we're all individuals, and not everyone can reproduce what you do.
Some people just don't want to.
Yeah.
Some people just don't want to. That's like me, with regards to this Black Lives Matter thing, it sort of like woke up a form of consciousness within me. I was talking about it with my friends this side. So now, because of that, everywhere I walk, I feel people are watching me because I'm a Black man, and they sort of like feel sorry for me, or I feel like they're inclined to feel sorry for me. I don't want that. I just want to feel like a normal dude. Like before the Black Lives Matter thing, I felt like a normal dude, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Until obviously some vagabond decides else will
decides to
to do his own things and starts calling me rubbish names because I'm Black. But like, I just want to be a normal person. I don't want to be. I just.
Yeah, because it's an uncomfortable situation to be in. You get.
Yeah, you know.
It's not something that makes you feel good. As much, of course, as the intentions are pure, it's not a nice feeling to have someone feel sorry for you. Just like, for example, just for example, take this example. If you have a certain disability, you wouldn't want to be treated, always in a special manner.
Yeah.
That's because you want people to treat you like a normal human being, because you are a human being.
Like a normal person.
Yeah, but then a human being, like the first thing that comes to your head when somebody, is disabled in any form is, this person, you kind of feel sorry for them, so you kind of feel like you have to treat them a certain way. But then that only makes the situation worse, because it's kind of like you're throwing it in their face.
Exactly.
So that's kind of like the same narrative.
Anyways, we've exceeded the 2-hour mark, Doc.
Yeah. But you have to, there were certain things, there were certain places where we were just waffling. I can't even lie.
Yeah, we have to talk about them.
Waffling. So are we pausing, or should we continue?
I think let's call it that.
There's still a few things we can discuss, but I guess that's up to you.
Okay, we can make it a next episode then.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Okay, it's now the end of the podcast. It's been 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Almost no. Let me show you how this thing is done.
Okay.
Flex on him.
I gotta do this.
Yeah, so that's it, man. That's how it is. You just have to treat people equally and treat people like they're human beings, and that's generally how it works. So apparently, guys, we've reached the 2-hour mark. This guy, I don't know, he has something to do. He has to talk to his girlfriends. I don't know. Nah, since I'm here alone, so I have all the time in the world. But we'll just close it down here. So guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and especially comment because we want to get feedback from you guys, and also give us some suggestions.
Love some feedback.
And give us like suggestions of things you'd like to see us do. We'd really appreciate those, and subscribe as well, and go and check out his social media pages. That's on Instagram and Facebook, I'm guessing. The Soul Engineer. Go and check those out. Go and follow, because I'm pretty sure he might actually start working hard and post some things there, I hope.
Yeah, I'm going to be posting maybe some clips here and there.
So yeah, just so like, comment, subscribe, go and follow him. This is Tinotenda Masimba Togara signing out. And this has been a podcast with the Soul Engineer. I really appreciated, having this. This has been really nice.
You're welcome, man. Cheers to many more.
Away.
Soul Engineer out.
Peace.